Okay, guys, welcome back to another Ivy League Mindset podcast. I'm here with Teresa, our first guest from season 1. She's back again. So she has transitioned from running to strength training just recently, but we'll let her talk about that stuff. Can you talk about how your running went this season?
It was intense. Like it went really well, but it was intense training. With running, I tend to overtrain because I just want to be prepared.
Running's your thing too, right?
Running is my thing. Like running, I do love it. I've been doing it since my first fitness class in high school at 16. When we went running, and I just fell in love with it, and I just took off and started running. And then obviously my first goal was a half marathon.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, I have to accomplish that.
Yeah.
And that was when I was 16. So, and I didn't do my first half marathon until 2008.
2000. Okay.
So, I mean, that was 1996 to 2008.
Did you
I'm revealing my age. Oh no. Yeah, I'm old.
Did you run all the way up until that point?
I was running consistently, and then I would just keep on adding distance. But again, I was only hitting about 10 kilometers when I was doing it on my own with no training, no running coaches or anything like that. I was just hitting 10K, and I wasn't very fast. I didn't do much research then, as I was coached, and I did more research when I was training for my first half marathon at the Y with Stu, and he was my running coach, and and then I did my first half marathon at 28.
28, okay. Yeah.
So, and I was ecstatic. I thought I did better than my running coach thought. I did way better, 10 minutes faster than he thought I was going to get. So, and then I had an awesome training partner as well. So she kept me, she was older than me. She was around, I think she was in her 50s. Yeah. She was my training partner, and she was just like a speed, she was Roadrunner. Yeah. And she challenged me, and my ego probably, I would have to say, kept me up with her to make sure, and she kept me out of my comfort zone the whole time. So that was my first half marathon.
Yeah, it's interesting, you can't judge a book by its cover too, right? Just because somebody's older doesn't mean they're not skilled. They could have, like you said, you've been running since you were 16. You don't know how long they've been doing it, right? So.
And the thing of it is about running is people will cream you on the race, on the road race, and you would never ever think that they would be faster than you. Like this running has no respecter of persons, right? You'd be surprised at people that just cream you on the road, and you're like, how are they running faster than me?
How's that changed your mindset on
oh my goodness
perspective?
It's you have a whole new respect for the sport. I know people are thinking, oh, it's running. I know some people are just like, oh, it's running, good for you. But then some people are like it's just running. How bad can you be at it? And then you just jump at it. But there's with every sport, there's training, there's a system, there's nutrition, and there's a whole bunch of people that are just naturally good at it. Yeah. And people are just a set of lungs. Most of the people that win these races are Kenyans and Ethiopians, and they're just a pair of lungs with legs. You know what I mean? And some people, and then for people like me who are not, I have fast twitch, so I'm more of an explosive movement type of person.
Like the rest of your family.
Like the rest of my family. And for me to transition, my running coach said, you have to transition from explosive movements, which your muscle fibers are built, it's your genetics, to endurance, which is, luckily you can do that, but it was a total transition. So he said, I had to work to be an endurance runner, whereas some people are just naturally good at it, Yeah. So, and I love sports that are that I'm not natural. I don't have a natural ability, so I have to work hard in order to be the best, or the best that I can be. So
good challenge, and that goes with anything that anybody wants to do, right? Say that you have a goal to be whatever. Yeah. Just because you're not good at it now doesn't mean you're not going to be good at it forever.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Work towards those things. You will get better if you put positive energy to it.
Absolutely.
I said that every podcast this season, by the way. But it's so true.
It's absolutely true, because think of it, like my first half marathon I was 28. So I'm 39 now. So I'm still doing half marathons.
And still getting better,
and
right?
Still getting better.
Yeah.
And still my training is getting better. I'm getting faster. Like, I mean, you can always, I've been doing it for so long now, and I'm still getting better and better and better, because you're racing against yourself. It's your personal best, right?
Yeah. And finding ways to get better by doing different things too.
Absolutely.
Right?
And that's funny that you said that, because this time I changed my nutrition for my training to see how my body reacts, because I'm doing intermittent fasting.
Okay.
And I was doing intermittent fasting while training. So picture it, you're doing
like fasted running.
Fasted running. So I'm running for 2 hours, 18 kilometers, whatever, on an empty stomach. Like I have to totally rely on the nutrition I had the previous 2 days. So you kind of be really smart about what you're eating and things like that. So
it makes you hone in though.
Oh,
right?
I'm so focused. And then when I bombed on my rate, like my long runs, which I really didn't, I wasn't running as fast as I would like to. That's what I call bombing. Like I didn't not do it. But then I knew, okay, my nutrition wasn't on point. I got to change it for the following week.
How long were you fasting for?
Like 18 hours, 20 hours.
18,
22
hours.
I
love the benefits of like a 24 or 18-6 for sure.
Oh, yeah. I am so into that right now. Like so into that, and thing of it is that it's working for me. Like it's really, really working.
Good.
So I'm kind of all in for that right now.
Good.
So I'm into.
Yeah. So if people follow you on Instagram, they knew you were doing a lot of strength training before you did your running.
I was doing like all strength training. I was barely doing cardio.
Yeah.
Barely.
Okay.
Like I wasn't doing very much running at all.
Yeah, and then getting back into it is probably that. Okay, I've got to get back into that.
Yeah.
So now you're transitioning back to strength training. Can you talk a little about that a little bit?
Yeah.
So switching from one thing to other, just talk about getting back into.
Yeah, it's been interesting actually, because during my half marathon training, I was still doing like body weight workouts and stuff like that, but I just wasn't like lifting, and I missed it. But I couldn't lift like that while I'm training, because you have that running was my priority, so I had to go there. But transitioning now into just I'm doing minimal cardio to weights. First of all, like my body's going through this whole like I don't even know what to call it. It's like, oh yeah, I used to do that. Like I remember remembering like, oh yeah, like we used to do that. And so I'm going through that whole muscle memory. But the great thing about this is that I bounced back right into it.
That's
like
perfect.
It was just amazing. I was sore, I was tired, I was exhausted. It was a mental thing to like kind of and humbling. It was humbling having to go back to lifting weights and not doing what you used to do. So that was a little hard at first, but I just went all in for weight training and loving it. And then my body just remembered. It was just like, oh yeah, just kept going, remembered. I started lifting. Week by week, I started increasing, and to be honest, 3 weeks later, and I know genetics has a little bit to do with it, and muscle memory and things like that, but 3 weeks into weight training, I'm almost back to where what I was lifting. So it was kind of because I'm like back into deadlifting and things like that, and it's been good. It's been really, and I'm so happy. Like I missed it.
Your body probably loved the little break too.
Oh yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about, so the listeners can understand, because I'm sure some of them are questioning, like you went from strength training to all in on running, now you're back to doing that. Now you can do, like you said, you did a little bit of body weight stuff and while you were running and whatnot. Can you talk about why you had to go from one thing like strength to all cardio, and why you can't have everything? Can you talk a little bit about it? about that?
Yeah.
Because some people don't understand that, right?
Yeah,
you can't have it all.
I wish. To be honest, I tried. Like I thought I could be. I could.
You can definitely try.
I tried. I really tried to keep my strength up with training, like with doing my running and training and things like that. But my priority was to get my distance in. The priority was getting my pace in, and I couldn't. My body needed recovery. So if I were to do, say, 18 kilometers one day, and then the next day do weight training, I haven't recovered from it, and then the next day I have to run again.
Everything's getting all messed up.
Everything is getting messed up. My body wouldn't know what to do. It's just like I'm trying to recover from weight training, but I'm also trying to recover from this because people don't understand when you're pounding the pavement like that, your quads are getting, getting pummeled, your glutes are getting pummeled, your hamstrings are getting, your calves, like your core, because we do a lot of core during running, like training, because I mean, like if you lose your core when you're running, you lose your lung capacity. Like you can't, if you start bringing it in right there,
just the ability to move your body the way you want it to.
You want maximal lung capacity, so you have to have a strong core, make sure you're staying up, and then your legs just kind of do the movement, right? So we're doing a lot of core and things like that, that if I wouldn't have time to recover from doing both at the same time. I had to choose one or the other.
And you can't get gains from both.
I couldn't get gains. No, that's exactly it. Like I couldn't. I was burning so much calories from running that, and because I was intermittent fasting, I couldn't eat the amount of calories that you need to build muscle, right? So, I lost weight I always lose weight while I'm running, because you're just burning, like I'm burning 1,000 calories per run, like things like that. Not all the time, but at least by the end of the week, the amount of miles or kilometers you put in, you've burnt a lot of calories. And because I was intermittent fasting, I was trying to replenish as much as I could in that window, but I obviously can't always do that. So it just didn't work out. I couldn't put in the time and the effort for both, and then plus do everything else that I had to do.
So people don't get it twisted. You can be strong, fast. You can be all that, but when you do, say, a run as long as Teresa would do, if you want the best time, then you have to hone in on that skill and do what you have to do to be that.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
If you want only, okay time and still be strong and still do whatever, not that you're not strong. You worked out today, she did great. But you have to hone in on your skill and do what it takes to get the best time if you want the best time.
Absolutely. If you're just doing it for leisure, then you're just going out for a jog and getting your distance in, then you can work out and get, I mean, I'm not sure how much strength gains you can get with that, but but I was on a rate. I had a pace that I wanted to keep up. I had to get my distance in. I had to get all my training days in. Like you have to, and when you're running, your training days are minimal an hour, then it goes to 2 hours, or depending on how fast you're running, but and then you want to get at least like 4 training days a week, plus your body weight exercises and your workouts, plus your core, plus I mean it's a lot of hours of training you're putting behind it, right? So it's just for me, I wasn't able to have everything. I would have loved to have keep my strength. I would have loved.
Could you imagine?
Oh my goodness! If I could have, I would have. Trust me. But I had to choose. In order to be successful, I had to go all in this way, and then.
I respect that about you. Like,
right.
That's cool.
Well, you just have to. You know what I mean?
That's
if that's your sport and that's what you're working on and that's what you're doing, you have to do it.
Yeah.
So, but then like towards the end of my training, I was just so looking forward to like picking up some. I was just so looking forward to it, and I was saying to myself, okay, it's not gonna be that bad. Yeah. It's not gonna be that bad. I'll be able to get into it fast. Like my body will remember. I was trying to, but it was good. It was good, but I had to choose one.
Can you talk about your last successful race there? You were an all-army type gear.
Yeah, it was an army run. This army run is like the best run.
Where was it?
It was in Ottawa.
Ottawa, okay, cool.
So, and we're talking army cadets there that are in training. They would run with their full gear on.
How much does this gear weigh?
Oh, I put on the gear. It was the minimal is 80 pounds. 80 pounds minimal. And they said I didn't even have any like firearms or grenades or anything on. You know what I mean? Like I just had the, like their suit on.
Yeah.
And we had people running there with like 80 pounds and doing 21 kilometers with their full gear on. Like, oh, it's just, you have so much respect for the Army. Like you have and you're just like, thank you to everybody, because it's so challenging. And we only get a taste of what the things that they do. Like that's part of their requirement in order to pass their boot camp.
Cool.
Like their training.
Their mental must be
just insane and so disciplined. Like so disciplined. So for us to just go and run the race and get a little taste of what they do and what they have to do, it's really inspiring, and all of the proceeds go to the Army, you know what I mean, military. So I love that. Like we pay for that, and their course is so intense. It's one of the hardest courses that I've done. Like it's just intense.
And you've done this race before?
I have.
And
they change it every time so that you never know what you're getting into. Like they show you the course, but you really don't know until you get there.
Is that something that intrigues you about doing this race again, knowing that it's going to be tough and knowing that it's going to be different and knowing that you don't know?
Absolutely. I love a challenge. And even the one that I did, the race that I did was called the Commander's Challenge. Because so it was, the Commander's Challenge is you run a 5K race first, and then you have like a little bit of a break, and then you run the 21.1 kilometers. And for me, I had never done that before. I usually just run 21 kilometers, or I'll do like a full marathon. But I've never kind of done a back-to-back race before, and I thought to myself, that's something I've never done before. It's challenging. I'm going to do, and I do this race specifically because of how challenging it is. Like I am up for that always. So
it changes you a lot, right? When you step up for a challenge instead of doing stuff like do the stuff that you're used to and you like. And
well, it's the thing. I've been running all these years and I've been doing half marathons, so I know what it's like. You know what I mean? I've done there, but to this race, they offer every year something different according to their anniversaries. So this year was the Normandy. This was the anniversary for Normandy, so they had a Normandy challenge, which was like a 5K and then a 10K, and then they had the Commander's Challenge. And every year they switch it up and they offer different races just to kind of like challenge people, right? So it's really good.
When you do this race, does it up your level, like mental, physical? So when you go to run like another half marathon without that gear or any of that, it's kind of nothing compares. Like nothing compares to doing this stuff like this. No, because like you just, I don't even know how to explain it. Do you feel like mentally and physically stronger after this one?
Absolutely.
And those other races, like your next race that you would do?
Yeah, absolutely.
You'd be way more mentally prepared.
Absolutely, because I can't even put it to words how different these races and how challenging it is. And I haven't run like all the races of the world, so I don't know whatever. I know the Berlin Wall half marathon is intense because it's like stair. Like I know that one, but for something that's like in my home kind of area, it the way that they change things, it just doesn't compare to other races. It's just so mentally challenging, and you can do it. Honestly, everyone can do it, but when you're on that race and the mental game that you're like, I don't know if I can hit that hill, the hills. Like, I don't know if I can hit that hill with strength. I don't know if I can do this. And then you do it. And then you go to the next thing and you do it. And then you go to the next thing and you do it. And then you just feel like, oh my goodness, like I trained for this, I prepared for this, but even though I'm not really prepared for it, when you're on the course and you're behind your time sometimes, and you're like wondering, am I going to catch up? It's just really good. It's really mental. It's a mental game, and it's mentally challenging, and that's what I love about it.
I like when you do a really hard challenge. I call it putting yourself through the fire. Right? Yeah. How important is it for people who want to reach that next level to do that? What do you think?
It's so important. like, so if I find that people who don't challenge themselves in this type of way, like whatever level that you're at, if you don't challenge yourself in this type of way, you never can see what you can accomplish. Like, you know what I mean? And people working with clients, people don't realize how much they can
they're
accomplish.
Capable so much more than they know.
Oh my goodness. Like working with clients, I'm like, guys, you don't understand. Like my one client that I was training this race with, she took like 8 minutes off of her time. And it was halfway through her training when I was like, why, like, what's going on? Why aren't you running faster? You know what I mean? I'm
8 minutes is massive.
Yeah. And I was like, and she was like, I don't know why. I don't know why. And I'm like, okay, so when you're training, get this pace. This is the pace you want. You can do it. And I ran that pace with her whenever she's running. She was slower than me, and I said, just run that pace. And she had no idea she could shave off 8 minutes off of her half marathon time. Like, she was just, and people don't realize like what you're capable of. Like, you need to have these challenges in your life.
Put yourself through the
for
fire.
Yourself. For yourself. Just to see what you're capable of. See what you can do, and everybody can do it.
And there's no other feeling than doing something that you didn't know you could do. There's no other feeling.
No other feeling. No other. It's just the accomplishment, the feeling. When I was done that race, I was so happy to be finished that race because it was so challenging, but I was so happy because I finished. Like, you know what I mean? I thought, oh my goodness, like I was only 1 minute off of my 5K race time, and I was like, oh, that's so good. I was a few minutes off of my my half marathon time, and I thought, I'm still proud that this is done because it was tough. It was really tough. So it was good.
So going from a successful race to one that you wanted to do, but you had a little bit of a road bump there. Can you talk about that?
So on race day, so what made it like so difficult is this injury just appeared on race day.
Of course, right?
Like on race day, like everything was perfect. It almost rained. It didn't rain, but then all of a sudden I was hitting my stride. My pace was right on time. I was with like you run with these pace bunnies, like because this is like the predicted time to finish. So you stay with these pace bunnies. So I was with her for till 11K. This is for the half marathon portion, and then all of a sudden like this thing happens with my knee and my quad, and I was like what happened? Like what's going on? So you do everything you can just to kind of stretch it out, keep going, and so that's what I did. I just kept going, kept pushing, and and to be brutally honest, I had symptoms during my training that my knee, there was something wrong with my knee, because I was going out training and I'd just say, something wrong with my knee, like something, and I don't usually have like these issues. And I was like, and then I would just kind of pass it off and then just keep going. And it's that mentality where
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Know.
Like, and the thing of it is, I know better. I know better, and I still ignored that feeling, and I was training and I kept training, and then it would go away and then it would come back. And
that doesn't help. I feel like when it's like that, where it goes away, you're like, oh, yeah, it's gonna go away.
It whatever it did, it kind of,
fixed itself.
Worked itself. It worked itself out. And then, oh man, I should have done something about it then, but I didn't. And so the injury showed up on race day. And so anyways, I had that's what made the race even tougher, because I had to work through this injury while it was the toughest race of my life. I had to do it like hurting the whole time. I was just in so much pain. But I was like, push yourself, like get over it. So anyway, so I that's why another reason why I was so happy. I was like, you're in so much pain while you're like doing this race. And so after the race, I did all I knew to kind of recover and stuff like that. But then there was one more race that I wanted to do.
How far apart were it?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. So like, you know what I mean?
So I gave myself a week to heal. Hawk, I gave myself a week to heal.
And we all know how that goes. Yeah.
Who does that? You know what I mean? I gave myself a week to heal. And then I started training again. So I went back and I trained and I did all I knew to kind of recover, and did the rolling, did the massaging, did the ice heat, all this type of thing, nutrition, everything like that. And I was still running, and then I was still getting that kind of pain. Yeah. And then the last long run before the race day, I couldn't finish it. Like I couldn't finish. I had to stop. And you knew that I knew I couldn't do this race. Yeah. If I knew that if I had done the race, I would really be injuring myself.
Okay, so the mental aspect, your mindset.
Oh my goodness.
What do you need to do to look past this? Right? Yeah.
Like at that point, when I realized that I couldn't do it, my heart sunk. Like, because
you've been training.
I've done everything. Like I've trained, I'm prepared, I'm ready. You know what I mean? I've done more than because this race coming up was only a half marathon. It wasn't the 5K first. Yeah. So I was doing like 5K less. Yeah. So I was prepared for this race, and my heart sunk when I had to kind of bow out of it, because like I don't do that. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not in my vocabulary. Yeah. You know what I mean? Usually I would just do it, and I really knew that I was gonna hurt myself, so I had to kind of, you know.
You're playing the long game.
Yeah, swallow that pill and say, you know what I mean? It's about my longevity, right? Yeah. And I had to think positively and think, you know what, my recovery, my well-being, everything is more important than running this one race. Yeah. Even though everything inside of me is saying, just run it. Yeah, I know. Just run it. Yeah. Like, I mean, you've done it before. Yeah. But I really had to, like, mindset is a thing. It sometimes you just have to pull back. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
to move forward.
Yep. Exactly. 100%. So
and you'll run this next year or whenever.
Absolutely.
Right? So.
And think of it this, like I'm still in active recovery right now. Like I'm still recovering from it. Yeah. And it's a good thing that I'm hitting the weights now. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
this is a good time to switch again, right?
It was just this is just perfect timing. Yeah. It's perfect timing. So, but mindset about that, oh my goodness, it's a hard pill to swallow, but you know, I mean, you have to do what you have to do for the longevity of it, to make sure that I don't destroy myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm not like in my 20s where you can just kind of do it and get over it and recover fast and things like that. And I have to kind of be more responsible.
And this is kind of throwing back to our original podcast that we had together about doing this long term and doing it as we age and change, adapting to that age, right? Yeah. So it's, you know, as much as you think or want doesn't mean you can do, right? No. Or should do, right? So, I mean, or make yourself think that you should do it.
Yeah, and then the thing of it is, that's the whole mental game about it, because I've been an athlete all of my life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I've been able to do what I've wanted to do and accomplish things, and I, you know, strive for things. Like I've always wanted to accomplish goals. That's my whole life, is to the next goal. Yeah. And for me to just have to pull back because for whatever reason, I mean, you have to be responsible. You know what I mean? Like, I just have to be. So
it's a good thing. Yeah. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thanks, Hawk. Yeah.
Because, I hear you on that. It's tough. Like, really tough.
It is. And I know some people wouldn't understand that. They're like, come on. It's just, like, you know what I mean? You don't have to do everything. Yeah. But when you've grown in that way where you're always crushing goals that, you know, and you're doing well and you have a momentum going, and you have a setback, you don't want, obviously, setbacks. You don't want any type of obstacles. You want to try to maneuver around those obstacles, because that's what you've been doing the whole time, is overcoming obstacles. Yeah. So you've been trained to overcome obstacles. Yeah. That's what I've been doing. Yeah. So for this is an obstacle, but this is one that I couldn't just overcome.
Yeah, sometimes the long road is the right road.
Exactly.
Right? Interesting commercial that I saw was about concussions, right? So it was a typical, like, Nike commercial where, I don't know if it was Nike, sorry. But anyways, this girl's trained super hard. She's playing soccer and the music's going, push, push, go, go, go. She headbutts into somebody else and she's dizzy, and then it still continues on with the music going, go, crush it. Whoa.
Yeah.
And then she passes out, and it's about concussions, right?
Yeah.
So knowing when to push and knowing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She should have took a step back to move forward. She kept moving forward, because that's almost sometimes the mentality that a lot of us give off is like, you got to train every day, all day.
Yeah.
I do, we do train every day, but
yeah, I know, and that's the thing. That's what I do. I train every day.
But we got to be smart about it.
Absolutely.
Right? It's not about just going go. Absolutely. It's about, okay, I got to do this day. Now we're playing it out, right?
Mm-hmm. And the thing of it is too is that I would tell, like, as a trainer, I would tell somebody else, no, like, you have to heal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to pull back. Your body's telling that something's wrong. Pull back and let it recover. I would advise that to people. So I really have to take my own advice.
Yeah.
Like, I had to actually just sit back and say, what would you tell somebody else?
Yeah.
And I would tell somebody else, stay off of it. Like, let it heal and then come back faster.
And we talked about being a hypocrite too, right? So we don't want to be that.
No.
So I need to take some of my own advice sometimes with sleep, but I'll get there too. But yeah.
Absolutely. Like, you have to just remember, you have to come out of yourself sometimes and just talk to yourself and say, listen, you know what I mean? Just be wise about things, because I mean, people are watching too as well. They're like, what is she gonna do? She tells me to do something, but what is she gonna do too?
Yeah.
So
that's true. Honestly,
people are watching, and I never realized that, but and as things go on, I'm like progressing, and I'm like, I really have to be responsible with myself and others. So
because people will look at you as an influence, inspiration, and like you said, do as you do, right? Or watch what you do, because she's telling you to do one thing. Is she doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely. No, it's true.
Like taking health advice from a smoker. Would you do it?
If
they're not taking care of themselves?
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. If somebody's in the gym and they told you to do this, and they come out and you see them smoking, you're like, throw it out the window, right?
Yeah, the credibility, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you would throw it. I would throw it out the window, because I'm thinking,
Yeah.
But
not saying that there isn't athletes who.
I know there is.
Yeah.
I say.
But as a perspective, you're looking at a person, they're smoking, you should really take care of your health. Right?
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. So I had to. That's in the end. I said, you know what? I'm just going to be responsible.
Yeah.
Heal, get it over, and you know what I mean, and then take care of myself and get back into weight training.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I love weight training, and getting back into it has been awesome.
Yeah.
So it's been good. But this whole year, the 2019 has been a great year for me, for ups and downs.
Yeah.
Just
the perfect amount.
It's the perfect amount of learning and listening to my body, because I went through huge injury the first year with my neck.
Yeah.
And then so I had to stop weight training a little bit, because my doctor was saying, no, you have to pull back, you have to recover.
Yeah.
And then so I was like, okay, I'll pull back a little bit. I did the best I can, but I needed to do it for myself. And now that I'm getting back into weight training, I needed that recovery. You know what I mean? And now I'm feeling so much better. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, I'm so glad. Yeah. I'm so glad that I did that, because now when I'm working out and doing everything that I used to do early in the year, it feels so much better.
That's good.
It feels so much better.
And hopefully you have a successful strength year.
Yeah.
Maybe get a muscle up. But
oh my goodness.
One day.
That is the goal. That has not left my mind.
Yeah.
So it's still my focus.
Yeah.
So
I think this is a good spot to end it on. If anybody needs a trainer or nutrition advice, how can they get a hold of you?
Instagram. I've changed my name to Fitness Flexing Fun.
There you go. Everything you need, right?
Well, I figured, you know what, I'm going to be a little bit adventurous, so so a little bit of everything this year. So, and 2020 is going to be really, really good. So.
That's it. We're getting better, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
I'll put all her information in the show notes, or Dan will, and thank you guys.
Thanks.